Maya's combat shuttle bucked against Nexus's atmospheric turbulence as another explosion lit up the transit hub below. The Academy's shimmering shields rippled but held, advanced technology doing what it was designed to do, unlike the failing security protocols that had prompted her emergency contract. Third attack this month, noted the Feroci pilot, his translucent skin revealing pulsing neural pathways. The Council is concerned. Maya nodded, her face revealing nothing. 15 years in Earth's special forces had taught her that revealing emotion was tactically disadvantageous, especially among species who considered humanity primitive. She checked her sidearm, an old habit, and felt the familiar weight of her combat knife against her ankle. Council regulations prohibited non-official weaponry, but Maya had never trusted her life to regulations. The shuttle docked with pneumatic precision. Director Thelnex awaited on the platform, a full 9 feet of Viridian authority. His exoskeletal frame gleamed with embedded status indicators, 6 golden eyes assessing Maya with unconcealed disappointment. Specialist Chen, he clicked, mandibles moving in the formal Viridian greeting pattern. Your credentials are adequate. Maya matched his formal stance. Director, I understand the situation is deteriorating. Indeed. Follow me. The Academy's central hall stretched impossibly high, its crystalline architecture designed to accommodate species ranging from methane-breathing Tellurians to the gravity-defying Melosians. Council security officers, all non-human, watched Maya with expressions ranging from curiosity to dismissal. Remarkable that your species has survived this long, Thelnex observed as they entered a monitoring station. Humanity lacks natural defenses, telepathic abilities, or significant technological contributions. Maya absorbed the familiar prejudice without comment, her eyes scanning the security displays, noting 6 vulnerabilities in the perimeter systems. The Academy's design prioritized aesthetic harmony over tactical advantage, a weakness she would need to address. The children's safety is our paramount concern, Thelnex continued, leading her through sectors organized by environmental requirements. We host 37 species, including a small contingent of humans accepted under Council diversity mandates. They entered a vibrant biodome, where gravity fluctuated to accommodate different physiological needs. Children from across the galaxy engaged in educational play, some hovering, others burrowing, several communicating through color patterns rather than sound. Maya noticed a cluster of human children teaching modified tag to aliens with multi-jointed limbs, adapting the rules for different physical capabilities. The aliens learned quickly, their laughter a universal translator. A tiny Medusan child with crystalline tentacles tripped and emitted a harmonic distress signal. Maya moved instinctively, kneeling beside the child before Academy security could intervene. The Medusan's tentacles trembled as she helped it upright. You are not scared? The child asked in halting Galactic standard. No, Maya replied simply. Thelnex observed the interaction, his primary eyes narrowing. Interesting. Your file indicates military background, not childcare. Protection is protection, Maya answered. The principles remain constant. Later, alone in her Spartan quarters, Maya methodically unpacked her gear and began reviewing security protocols on her datapad. The Council's defensive algorithms were impressive, but relied too heavily on predictable response patterns, a fatal flaw against adaptive attackers. She disassembled and cleaned her sidearm, a ritual from her military days that helped her think. As she worked, the faces of the children flickered through her mind. Vulnerable, diverse, innocent. Maya whispered an oath passed down through generations of Earth's warriors, words that transcended species and space. These children are now under my protection. All of them. Maya's fingers danced across holographic security monitors, her eyes burning after 72 hours with minimal sleep. The Academy's central security hub, designed for the comfort of 6 different species, but not humans, glowed with the eerie blue light preferred by Arcturian visual systems. Something felt wrong. 3 weeks into her assignment, and the security logs showed perfect implementation of Council protocols. Every scan, every check, every verification. Flawless. In 15 years of combat experience, Maya had never seen perfection. Real security had gaps, hesitations, overcorrections. "You're accessing archived footage again, human specialist," observed Assis Varn, the Academy's Serpentine Chief Technology Officer. His scaled body coiled effortlessly around his gravity-suspended workstation. "Our systems are operating at 99.87% efficiency." "That's what concerns me," Maya replied. "Efficient systems show pattern variations. These don't." Tessivarn's inner eyelids flickered with annoyance. Human paranoia is not a basis for resource allocation. "The director has requested your presence for the atmospheric study expedition." The expedition gathered at the Academy's southern dome. 34 students from 12 species, accompanied by faculty specialists. Maya scanned the area methodically, noting each maintenance drone, each security checkpoint. One drone near the atmospheric sampling equipment moved irregularly, its navigation pattern deviating by microseconds from standard Academy protocols. Not random, deliberate. Maya was already sprinting across the open plaza when she spotted the telltale shimmer of active camouflage tech on the drone's undercarriage. "Everyone down," she shouted, her voice automatically translated into 12 different communication formats. The explosion came milliseconds later, a focused thermal blast that shredded metal and shattered reinforced plastics. Students screamed in a cacophony of species-specific distress signals. 3 injured, a young draconian critically, her wing membranes shredded by superheated shrapnel. The Council security team arrived with practiced efficiency, their analysis completed in minutes. "Technical malfunction," pronounced the lead investigator, a Tesserine with quantum computational abilities. "Energy regulator failure. Unfortunate, but within statistical probabilities." Maya knelt beside the blast pattern, fingers tracing through debris. Near the drone's central processor, she found it, a microtransmitter of non-standard design, its activation signature still detectably warm. "This wasn't a malfunction," she stated, presenting the device to her supervisor, an Etrusian commander with scaled armor plates. "This is a remote detonation trigger." The commander's plates darkened, a sign of irritation or embarrassment. "Classified as debris. Stand down, human." That night, conducting a personal patrol through the dark corridors, Maya heard soft weeping. Following the sound, she found a young Tellusian child with luminescent skin huddled in an alcove, trembling scales reflecting corridor lights in prismatic patterns. Maya approached slowly, lowering herself to appear less threatening. "What's your name?" she asked softly. "Namisa," the child whispered, binary fear patterns cycling across her translucent epidermis. "The bad ones are coming back. I heard them in the walls." "What did you hear, Namisa?" "Clicking sounds, words I'm not supposed to understand." The child's multi-jointed hand reached tentatively toward Maya. "They said the primitives will be first." Maya's mind flashed back, herself at 7, hiding during the Jakarta siege. The same fear, the same helplessness. Kneeling to eye level, Maya took the child's trembling hand. "I won't let anything happen to you," she promised, a fierceness in her voice that transcended her contractual obligations. "To any of you." Triple moonlight cast sharp shadows through the maintenance-level viewport as Maya activated her final reprogrammed drone. Her quarters had transformed into something Council security would consider treasonous. Walls covered with holographic connection webs, maintenance drones repurposed as unregistered surveillance units, and probability matrices tracking staff movement patterns. Sleep deprivation was a familiar companion from her military days. She'd sacrificed rest for intelligence, analyzing countless hours of surveillance data. The patterns were unmistakable to her human intuition, though she knew the Council's algorithms would dismiss them as statistical anomalies. "There," she whispered, isolating a communication pattern between 5 staff members. Their official interactions appeared normal, But beneath the surface protocols, Maya detected shadow communications, encrypted data packets exchanged during routine transmissions. Someone inside the academy was coordinating with external forces, possibly at the highest levels. The morning security board meeting turned hostile the moment Maya presented her findings. Primitive pattern recognition delusions, sneered Commander Vostan, his Arcturian appendages flaring with dismissive bioluminescence. Human brains evolved to see predators in random shadows. The data shows, Maya began. The data shows nothing, interrupted Deputy Director Halax Forn, his voice modulator pitched to indicate finality. Council algorithms are calibrated to detect genuine threats, not human fantasies. One by one, the board members filed out, leaving Maya alone with her disregarded evidence, except for Vex, a hunched Krell scientist who'd remained silent throughout the meeting. His compound eyes studied her with analytical intensity. Your methodology is unorthodox but intriguing, he admitted, mandibles clicking softly as he approached her display. Our algorithms prioritize known threat patterns. You seem to see beyond them. Maya's response was interrupted by a disturbance in the Academy's central atrium. 4 senior Draconian students had cornered a human boy against a gravity well, their wing membranes extended in intimidation displays. Bad luck primitives. The largest Draconian hissed, scales bristling. The attack started when your kind arrived. Maya approached with measured steps. Step away from the student, she ordered, her voice carrying the authority of combat experience. Human security cannot give orders to superior species, the Draconian leader responded, turning toward Maya with adolescent arrogance. What happened next registered only as a blur to the Academy sensors, a series of precise movements that neutralized the threat without causing injury. One moment the Draconians were posturing. The next they were immobilized, wing joints secured in vulnerable positions. Return to your quarters, Maya instructed the stunned bullies. We won't report this incident. Later, in a hidden training room reconfigured from unused storage space, Maya showed the human boy techniques developed in Earth's gravity. They're stronger, faster, often smarter in computational ways, she explained, demonstrating a leverage technique that used an opponent's mass against them. But watch their eyes. All species telegraph intentions somehow. The boy executed the move with surprising aptitude. Is this how you survived so many battles? He asked. Maya corrected his stance with gentle pressure. No, humans survive because we see patterns others miss, adapt faster than any species in the galaxy, and she guided him through another defensive movement. We never, ever give up. Her gaze met his with fierce certainty. That terrifies them more than any weapon. Impossible. Vex chittered, his exoskeleton vibrating with agitation as they hunched over forbidden security access terminals in a maintenance sublevel. The air here tasted of recycled metals and ozone, the parts of the Academy that privileged species never saw. The encryption is quantum-locked by the Council itself. Even my species' computational abilities cannot breach it. Maya's fingers didn't hesitate, implementing hacking algorithms developed in Earth's digital battlefields. While the Council races had evolved spectacular biological adaptations, humans had learned to extend themselves through technology in ways other species found disconcertingly unpredictable. Quantum assumes predictable observation patterns, she explained as her customized decryption program executed subroutines no Council programmer had anticipated. Humans think sideways. The restricted feeds materialized before them, revealing the scope of what they faced. A radical splinter group calling themselves the Purity Front had infiltrated Council institutions across 3 sectors. Their manifesto filled the screen. Species supremacists who believed mixing children during development contaminated their evolutionary potential. Gods of the Void, Vex whispered, compound eyes widening as he processed the data. They'd been planning this for years. Transmission logs between operatives revealed their ultimate goal: force the Academy to segregate species, beginning with decontamination of human influence. The language was sterile, bureaucratic, masking genocidal intent behind administrative terminology. A secondary feed showed Academy Deputy Director Halak's foreign meeting with known front operatives in a supposedly secure location. The implications hit Maya like physical blows. Was I recruited because I'm expendable? She wondered aloud, connecting new patterns in her mental web. A human scapegoat if things go wrong. Vex's antennae twitched with agitation. We must alert Director Thelnex immediately. With evidence this substantial. We need to move carefully, Maya cautioned, downloading critical data to portable storage. If the Deputy Director is compromised, others may be too. They moved quickly through the Academy's service corridors toward the Director's chambers. Maya noticed details that triggered her combat instincts. Maintenance positions abandoned. Security systems running automated protocols without officer oversight. Empty stations where staff should be monitoring critical systems. Too many coincidences, too many patterns. As they approached the central hub, massive blast doors slammed shut throughout the facility with synchronized precision. Emergency lights bathed the corridors in blood-red illumination as all external communication systems went silent simultaneously. A moment later, the Academy's internal defense systems reset, locking Maya out of all security access. On nearby monitors, she watched helplessly as armed Purity Front commandos emerged from what should have been secure areas, their movements coordinated and precise. In the distance, the first screams began, children's voices in a dozen different biological registers. Maya met Vex's compound eyes, the realization settling between them with horrible clarity. It's not an infiltration, she said, checking her sidearm with practiced efficiency. It's an invasion, and it's already begun. Vex's mandibles clicked with determination. What do we do, Specialist Chen? Maya's expression hardened into the focus that had kept her alive through 3 war zones. First, we get to the children. Then we show these supremacist bastards why threatening humanity's young is the worst mistake they could make. Heavily armed Purity Front commandos swept through the Academy's gleaming halls with military precision. Their uniforms bore no insignia, but Maya recognized the formation patterns. Council Special Operations training, perverted to serve supremacist ideology. Through emergency monitoring stations, she watched them herd terrified children by species classification into separate containment areas. Their leader, masked and efficient, addressed the captives through the Academy's communication system. This is purification, not punishment. Contamination will be removed. Natural order will be restored. Security footage showed human children being marched to sub-level maintenance areas designated for biological decontamination. Sterile language masking genocidal intent. Maya's jaw tightened as she recognized the euphemism from Earth's darkest historical moments. They're taking the humans to sub-level 3, she told Vex, checking her sidearm. 6 rounds, nowhere near enough. The atmospheric processors there can be repurposed for gas dispersal. My exoskeleton won't fit through standard maintenance conduits, Vex clicked, mandibles tight with distress. I can access the secondary command hub through service channels designed for my species, perhaps regain some control. Do it. I'll get to the children. With her security access revoked, Maya crawled through maintenance conduits never designed for humanoid passage. The front's neural net security systems searched for logical movement patterns, while Maya deliberately employed erratic navigation that their algorithms dismissed as system anomalies. Earth's gravity, heavier than most council species evolved in, had given humans distinct advantages in stamina and upper body strength that Maya now exploited, pulling herself through narrow junctions that would have exhausted other species. In a ventilation junction, she reconnected with Vex, whose multi-jointed exoskeletal structure had allowed him to traverse different routes. His compound eyes projected tactical displays of the front's positions. Their technology is superior, he chittered hopelessly. Quantum-locked weapons, neural net targeting, adaptive countermeasures. Maya removed panels from the junction balls, revealing environmental control circuitry. Technology follows patterns, she countered, rapidly repurposing components into crude but effective weapons. Patterns can be disrupted. Using thermodynamic principles taught in Earth's most elite Special Forces units, she created infrastructure failures that the front's contingency systems never conceived possible. Power surges that overloaded sensors, atmospheric density variations that triggered false alarms, gravimetric fluctuations that disrupted their neural interfaces. How can you predict such responses without computational assistance? Vex asked, watching in fascination. I don't predict. I adapt, Maya replied, assembling an improvised electromagnetic disruptor. That's humanity's evolutionary advantage. When she breached a containment area holding Medusan and Arcturian children, their fear scent filled the chamber, a pheromonal cocktail that triggered protective instincts across species boundaries. A young Viridian with half-formed mandibles trembled as she disabled the locks. Why help us? He asked, confusion evident in his multifaceted eyes. You're human. We're not your species. Maya knelt, meeting his gaze at eye level, a sign of respect in Viridian culture. Because you're children, she answered simply, distributing improvised communication devices fashioned from Academy tech. And all children deserve protection. She gestured toward the ventilation shaft. Now, I need your help to save the others. The front's neural surveillance detected organized resistance emerging throughout the Academy with alarming speed. In the Arcturian sector, students communicated through light patterns learned from human classmates. Patterns the front's translation algorithms classified as random photonic discharge. Maya watched from a concealed maintenance hub as draconian children employed hiding techniques based on human games of hide and seek, confounding bioscanners calibrated for traditional draconian thermal signatures. What the Council dismissed as primitive play had become survival strategy. Vex moved through restricted zones with Maya's improvised countermeasures, spreading tactical approaches to staff members who had avoided the initial purge. His exoskeletal frame, once awkward in Maya's eyes, now moved with newfound purpose. They're adapting faster than front algorithms can compensate, Vex reported through their secure channel. The human children taught the others to move unpredictably. The Academy's communication systems suddenly activated with a holographic broadcast, overriding emergency protocols. The front's leader removed his tactical mask, revealing the scared face of Drav Korith, legendary Council military commander and architect of the Regelian peace. Contamination spreads. His voice resonated through every chamber, the neural harmonics designed to inspire obedience in Council species. What you call education, I call corruption. Natural order must be restored. Primitive influences, human influences, must be purged for the greater harmony. Maya recognized the face from Council military history. Korith had ended 3 interstellar conflicts through brilliant tactical maneuvers. Now he applied that same genius to xenophotic purification. After hours of careful navigation through front patrols, Maya finally reached sublevel 3 where the human children had been imprisoned. She expected to find carified captives. Instead, she found the containment field deactivated and makeshift barricades erected from repurposed furniture and maintenance equipment. Behind them, human children coordinated with escaped aliens from 6 species. A 12-year-old girl with determination beyond her years spotted Maya and approached with the confidence of a natural leader. Specialist Chen, she said, we've been expecting you. The girl briefed Maya with military precision. We created escape routes for species with breathing limitations, set up distraction patterns to confuse their scanners, and established communication with 3 other containment zones using modified resonance frequencies. Maya watched in amazement as human children taught alien peers to move unpredictably to avoid motion sensors, their movements seemingly random but containing subtle patterns that confused front algorithms without triggering shutdown protocols. They think we're just hiding, the girl explained, eyes bright with fierce intelligence. They don't realize we're organizing. In that moment, Maya understood a fundamental truth that the Council had missed for centuries. What the galaxy dismissed as human primitiveness was actually humanity's greatest evolutionary advantage: unmatched adaptability. While other species evolved specialized biological advantages, humans developed cognitive flexibility that allowed them to incorporate other species' strengths into their strategies. Korath doesn't fear our weakness, Maya realized, watching the children work together across species boundaries. He fears our influence. Korath's voice echoed through the Academy's emergency channels. Witness the consequence of resistance. Holographic projectors throughout the facility activated, showing human children kneeling in the grand atrium, surrounded by front executioners with molecular disruptors. The children's faces showed fear, but not defeat, a distinction Maya recognized from humanity's long history of resistance against overwhelming odds. Purification begins with the source of contamination, Korath announced, his voice carrying the authority that had once commanded council fleets. Maya, Vex, and their coalition of staff and student resistors launched their counterattack through 6 different access points simultaneously. The diversionary teams, composed of species with natural defensive capabilities, drew front forces away from the atrium while Maya, moving through maintenance shafts at speeds that triggered structural warnings, emerged behind Korath's honor guard. The battle erupted with coordinated precision. Children implementing tactics from a dozen worlds, staff members employing Academy resources in ways their designers never intended. Maya cut through the chaos directly toward Korath, who awaited with preternatural calm. The legendary commander stood 7 feet tall, his cybernetically enhanced body housing combat systems that had earned him the title The Inevitable during the Border Wars. Fascinating, he mused as Maya approached, his neural implants calculating combat probabilities. The primitive believes it can challenge evolution. His first strike shattered the floor where Maya stood a microsecond earlier. His combat systems, designed to predict movement patterns of every known sentient species, struggled to track her seemingly erratic evasions. What followed became recorded in later Academy teachings as the Chen Doctrine, combat techniques that appeared irrational yet contained deep adaptive logic. When Korath's neural interface attempted to establish attack algorithms, Maya's movements defied computational prediction. She didn't fight like a soldier following tactical protocols. She fought like a mother protecting children, with ferocity that transcended logical limitations. Your species' delusion of relevance amuses the Council, Korath growled, cybernetic enhancements glowing as they struggled to compensate. You lack natural weapons, telepathic defenses, meaningful lifespan. Maya didn't waste breath responding. Each movement conserved energy while exploiting microscopic weaknesses in his defenses, techniques perfected in Earth's gravity against opponents who always seemed stronger. When she finally subdued him, using his own momentum against his enhanced frame, the Academy's central communication systems broadcast their confrontation to every chamber. Around them, front commandos faltered as their leader fell. Why? Korath demanded, genuine confusion in his voice as his systems failed. Your species has every disadvantage. Why fight with such ferocity? Maya stood above him, bloodied but unbowed, her voice carrying to every hidden child and resistant fighter throughout the Academy. Because we understand something you never will. Strength isn't about dominance, it's about protection. And we will stop at nothing to protect our children. All children. Council peacekeepers arrived 12 hours after Maya's confrontation with Korath, their ships darkening Nexus's skies. The aftermath revealed the conspiracy's true scope. Security Front sympathizers occupied positions across 17 council institutions, their influence spreading like a silent contagion through the galaxy's governing bodies. In closed chambers, ancient species debated what Maya's actions represented: heroism or dangerous unpredictability. The recordings of her combat with Korath became the subject of military analysis throughout council space, her movements defying conventional tactical algorithms. The Academy reconstruction proceeded under intense scrutiny, with quantum recorders preserving Maya's improvised tactics for analysis, What most fascinated Council researchers was the speed with which non-human children had adopted human adaptive strategies, evidence of cognitive transmission that transcended species boundaries. Director Felnex, humbled by his failure to detect the threat, approached Maya as she supervised new security installations. "The Council has reached a decision," he announced, mandibles moving in formal patterns she now recognized as respect. "You are offered permanent position as Academy Security Director, the first human to hold high-ranking office in any Council institution." Maya considered the offer, watching students from across the galaxy collaborate on rebuilding projects. "What about humanity's classification?" "The Classification Committee has convened an emergency session to reconsider humanity's primitive species designation," Felnex replied. "Your actions have challenged certain assumptions." 5 years later, students from 43 worlds trained in the Academy's new Adaptive Defense Center, where the curriculum married advanced technological systems with what was now formally recognized as human intuitive problem-solving. Council security operations across 3 sectors implemented the Integrated Protection Doctrine, combining species' natural advantages with cognitive approaches once dismissed as primitive. In diplomatic circles, applying the human element became shorthand for unpredictable yet effective innovation, the ultimate compliment from species who had once dismissed humanity as evolutionary afterthoughts. On the 10th anniversary of what historians now called the Nexus Siege, a ceremony unveiled a new installation in the Academy's rebuilt atrium. Not a statue or holographic memorial, but something uniquely appropriate. A simple plaque crafted from earth metals and viridian crystal, bearing Maya's words from the confrontation. "All children, regardless of species, deserve our protection. This is not negotiable." Officially, it became known as the Contracted Soldier's Oath. Unofficially, it represented something more profound, a fundamental truth that even the galaxy's most advanced civilizations had somehow forgotten. At the ceremony's conclusion, a rare sight unfolded. The current Academy class, representatives of 52 unique evolutionary paths, standing together, young voices from across the stars reciting the oath in perfect unison. Among them stood Maya, older now, her service weapon replaced by the ceremonial staff of the Academy's security director. She watched with quiet pride as the children, human and alien alike, spoke the words that had once been her solitary promise. In that moment, humanity's greatest contribution to galactic civilization became clear. Not technology, not computational brilliance, but something far more ancient and powerful, the unshakable conviction that protecting the next generation transcends all boundaries, even the stars themselves.